Hello, folks. Let's see if anyone's on tonight. I don't know how many people get these notifications, especially on a off night like this. So I'll give it like 30 seconds or so, then I'll just sort of spit out what I have to say if no one's around tonight and we can catch up. Well, hold on. Here's Nydia and Laura. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing okay. Oh, there's Anna Lee. Boy, this is weird. Are you seeing this in the chat as well, where it's your full handle instead of just your names? I think something's kind of wonky here with Zoom and Face and YouTube have been odd tonight. Yeah, happy early Thanksgiving, everyone. Unless someone's doing Canadian Thanksgiving out there. Yeah, let me see if there's anything. Yeah, are you all seeing that too? Nydia, Annalie, Laura? You're seeing the full handles? So actually, I had to try and log in 3 times on Zoom because of an update. It kept starting up the meeting, but there was no me. There was no video, even though I had it activated, which was strange. So anyway, I'll wait for your answers. In the meantime, hi, how's everyone doing tonight? It's crazy on this end of things. This is actually my busiest time of year. The Fiesta stuff's always crazy for a handful of days. And then election season, you got to do a lot of studying for. And I had a quick deadline for one of my timelines, so that got kind of hairy. But the holiday season, like right now, it's usually from Veterans Day until like a month, say November 11th to December 11th, right in there. That's kind of like the heat zone for all this stuff. And luckily, I've scaled back a lot from what I really used to do all the time before you could stream live. Um, on Small Business Saturday, we used to go out and visit as many businesses as possible, which was ridiculous. Sometimes we'd do like 20 to 30 in a morning. Um, and then come back home and try to upload the video so we could talk about them because you couldn't. It was before you could stream live, so we were trying to get like up to the minute info out on a bunch of businesses and what they're offering throughout the day. So, okay, so you're seeing the full handles too? Yeah, so something's got to be going on. Or it's probably some sort of security update or something. But anyway, so yeah, so I think Anna Lee might follow me a bit on Facebook. I don't know how many others do. I know Christian does, but that's my bread and butter usually, and it's been insanity for the last week or so. I had a couple. Well, I had a big event at the local library last week. I don't even have my day straight. I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. They screened the documentary I did in the history of that library, which went well. So I had a little speaking engagement in front of, I don't know, it wasn't 100 people, but it was close. And so that was pretty cool. I like doing that stuff. The piece was fresh in my mind, so I didn't have to do a whole lot of studying to get ready for that one, which was good. And there were a lot of great anecdotes and stuff chimed in from the people who showed up that night. So that was cool. Now I'm actually going to end up doing 2 events in the same week later in December. You know, the Flying Santa piece that I did a few years ago, and I think I revised it maybe last year. So we're going to show that again at the local cable station a little before Christmas, maybe the week before, something like that. But then the library is also going to show it later on that week. So I'll be there to chat about that as well. So those are nice to do, and that's a nice little Christmassy piece, and I think it's only 15, 16 minutes long, so that'll be fun to pull off. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to be working on this other wintry piece. I've got some irons in the fire for this whole ice rink and the skating club that happened when it opened. It was part of the middle school or junior high school when a new I guess it was a middle school at that time, but when a new junior high school was built, they also built a rink right next door to it. And when the rink opened, this is, I think, in November 73, there was a skating club that began teaching, I think, the day after it opened. So I wanted to sort of do, it's been 50 years or so. So I wanted to do a little piece in the skate club and the rink and the school and all that. But it's been hard to find. I, well, I really need images because the local newspaper, they have all these digitized copies you can scour through online, but the photos are pretty lousy. Like they're so pixelated and like almost like super inky that you can't really make things out, which is too bad. The articles you can read fine. Um, with some of for some of those papers, especially once you get back 50, 60 years or so, the photography is really tricky to use, and I need images to carry these pieces, or else they're going to be really short pieces. So, anyway, we'll see what that happens. So, now that I know I'm doing this flying Santa thing again in a few weeks, that buys me some time. I think I'm also going to be doing a little documentary um, on Hammond Castle, and I'm going to meet with them that same week. Those Flying Santa show, I'm meeting with the castle um, to discuss the angle we're going to take there because they have a great social media presence. Um, they spit stuff out every day, and the guy was pretty fascinated. And what goes on there is really cool and visually arresting. So um, it'll be good to work with them. But yeah, we need to have a different angle other than, hey, here's who the guy is, this is what the castle does. So I think it might be the castle's relationship with the community over the last 100 years because it's evolved over time. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sweating that out because I know we have all the imagery. I know we have all the backstory. It's just what are those beats we hit in the script? Like, what do we want to say? What's the spine of our piece? And so that'll come out this winter for sure. Hopefully, this skating rink one will come out too because I've already been scripting and working on other parts that I want to incorporate in that story, which I've enjoyed a lot. And it's always good to have a seasonal piece at the ready. So when this time of year comes, we can have these little speaking events through the holidays, and it kind of makes it easier on my work schedule. So anyway, so there's that. Yeah, Annalie, the Hammond Castle documentary, that's going to be a good one. In fact, I spent 3 days at Hammond Castle last week. I shot a couple commercials for them, and so yeah, they trick everything out for the holidays. So tons of lights and trees and menorahs and candles and hand tied bows all over the place there. So that's pretty cool. If you do follow me on Facebook, you'll see a bulk of what I've been doing the last few weeks. It's just a lot of running around to small businesses, and there's a lot of food drives, winter coat drives, those sorts of things happening as well. And obviously, this time of year too, Thanksgiving is when I do the most for the local food pantry. So I've done 3 separate stories with them in the last 10 days or so. So I've been there a lot as well, which has been great. It's like a client of mine, a big company, they donated like half a ton of turkeys. And the American Legion goes on Thanksgiving Day and they prepare meals, and they need volunteer delivery drivers. And the food pantry here serves 11 communities. It's based here, but it has a wide reach and a lot of needs. So they do an amazing job over there. There's a lot of, and the little community groups like these winter coat drives are really small community groups of, started with 2 or 3 people. They have maybe 10 volunteers or so, and they'll donate, 1,000 coats or whatever it is to people through the holidays. So it's awesome stuff. It's fun to do. I'll say this because there's no one from Gloucester on, I'm pretty sure too. Like, I don't ask to get paid for any of this stuff too. That's kind of like I just donate time, which is fine because I work with a lot of these folks anyway, and these aren't hard to do. They just take a little bit of time to do. So always nice to help out there, and that's kind of what I've done through the years with the bridge. So that's great. So I know even when I have those videos done, I put them on this channel, and they're usually public to see. Sometimes I just unlist them because they're so localized. And that's also why, the channel kind of takes a beating with the algorithm because I'm doing so many little different localized things compared to how this channel audience got built up. But anyway, if you ever want to check that stuff out, if you are a Facebooker, you can always look for the Bridge Cape Band on Facebook. And if not, you can always look at the videos. It's probably under the Bridge Cape Band playlist. That's where I would throw all that stuff if you want to see. And a lot of those are like 1 minute long or a 5-minute interview with someone. nothing super crazy. So anyway, that's kind of the latest with me. It's also crazy because tomorrow night is one of the biggest party nights of the year, the big reunion night, other than Fiesta Friday and Saturday, that weekend at its peak. This is, or tomorrow is going to be the biggest night of the year for just travel day. People get into town, and everywhere you go, it's music and food and people bumping into each other. So as long as the weather cooperates and looks like it's going to, it should be a busy night there. So I'll see where I end up tomorrow. That's why I wanted to come on tonight in case I am out tomorrow night or have to cover something, which usually happens too. Then, of course, Thursday morning here is the big high school football game. It's all the in-state rivalries take place on Thanksgiving Day here. I don't know if that is the same in your states. High school football is pretty big. It's not as big as it is in the South or even less populated areas. There's too many other sports going on here, but it's still pretty good. So that's happened as well. People get amped up for that. Yellow guy, maybe too localized sometimes, but yeah. So that's happening there. So yeah, Wednesday night's the big party night. Thanksgiving, of course, is Thanksgiving. It starts off with that high school football game, which is at 10 in the morning usually. And then whatever that turns into that day and night. And usually like the only places open on Thanksgiving night, I think. There are a few bars and like the Chinese restaurants are usually open then. And then, of course, Black Friday. It's not like everyone waits for a mall to open around here like they used to back in the day. But I imagine Black Friday be pretty busy. It's been a lot busier here in the last week or so. Traffic's really picked up because it was, I would say, a down year overall for tourism because especially here in New England and Massachusetts, most of our tourists come from Canada at day trip. And they were just a little turned off this year about what was going on. And plus, of course, tariffs on the Canadian dollar, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, it would have been really nice to talk to Sharp Lisa about that tonight and how life is like up north of the border. So anyway, thinking of her through the holiday season as well. So then, of course, after Black Friday, which I don't know if it's a crazy shopping day. I think people kind of turn into shop mode then. Other big things that happen are more people start to go to Hammond Castle to see it all decorated. But also we have that one big hotel where I used to do the greasy pole thing from. Called the Beauport Hotel, which is right on the water overlooking Pavilion Beach and the Gloucester's Inner Harbor and the Greasy Pole and all that. That same vantage point. That's gorgeous. And they decorate incredibly. And that's where a lot of people end up going to because those decorations are finally set right after Thanksgiving. So everyone ends up going to the Beauport Hotel. I always go to the hospital because it's the Beauport Hospitality Group. So that's a huge thing too on Fridays. And then Saturday, of course, a small business Saturday. We have 1 million small businesses here. So hopefully they do well. And of course, you know the saying, it's for every $1 you spend on a small business, 67 cents, 2/3 of that goes back into the community. So anyway, that'll be pretty nutty. And that'll carry through Sunday. Of course, the New England Patriots, the local football team, is good again out of nowhere. So people are paying a lot more attention to football. So that happens all through the weekend. And then shopping season is literally here. And then, of course, you've got Cyber Monday. You'll have all your online deals going on. And then Giving Tuesday. And we are chock full of nonprofits in this area, too. So it's all the asks, the big asks are happening right now as well. So this is where I'm sure this is the same in a lot of your communities, but everyone kind of gets pulled in 1,000 different directions to give and give and give. And people here give and give and give, and that's how it goes. And, then you find out, the families that need help, whether they're hungry or homeless. We have a pretty sizable homeless population here that I would say a good 2/3 of Gloucester is wooded, and it's weird. People don't realize it, but Gloucester, area-wise, is one of the bigger cities in Massachusetts. And So it's not like homeless people sort of out in the open and wandering around. They be tucked way back in the woods, like a mile. Like they don't want to be found. But there's always groups and the police, whatever, going out and helping folks there too. And it's where they want to be, and no one's being bothered by it really when they're out that way. So anyway, there's always efforts going on for that too, getting the mats to sleep on and boots and socks. I remember working with the emergency shelters here, and it's always socks, the number one thing that they look for in the clothing drives, even more than coats and gloves. It's always socks. So anyway, 9,000 things like that. It all happens now. And then I've said this time and time again, but this eerie thing happens right around the time of Hanukkah or so starts, so that mid-December point. Then it gets quiet. Everyone's locked in. The family stuff starts happening. The work parties and holiday parties are all going on. There's all the school fairs, all those sipping shops, all that is going on all the time. But then things just get a little more compact and quieter right in through Christmas. And then it's normally really quiet between Christmas and New Year's Eve because school vacation week. So people will go up north skiing or whatever, or hunker down depending on what the weather's like. And the weather hasn't been bad here. And then New Year's is normally quiet around here. There's never been really that much of a big thing going on. Maybe the hotel will have a nice event. Hammond Castle, like there's a few places that do, but most people usually don't brave it because it's usually really cold. Boston has something called First Night, where the Pops will play and they'll do fireworks and all that for the new. They'll do a big to do, but usually it's like freezing for that, and it's a pretty big effort to want to do that and hang out there and then try to get home after midnight and deal with the trains and trolleys and all that stuff. So anyway, and then you have January to April, or basically January till close to Fiesta in June, and that's kind of like the dead zone until the tourist comes back. January, February, March. So that's how things kind of play out here. Now, how things work out for me is I somehow get my way through this weekend. So I've crammed in all my work because Monday night we take off for Dublin for about 4 or 5 days. So that'll be good. But it is what it is. I'll be missing a lot here, especially that weekend of December 6th or so. There's a million events going on. And December 4th, next Thursday, is Ladies' Night. That's the biggest retail night of the year around here. So all that kind of starts happening. But anyway, I'm cramming in what I can now. And then that week happens. And then I come back and I have those little speaking engagements to get ready for. I find that if I'm going to be able to move forward at a rapid pace for that ice rink and skating club documentary. And I'm also meeting with Hammond Castle to work on their documentary. So if I start that sooner than later, then that's what I end up doing. So also the week I come back, that Thursday, so it'll be Thursday, December 11th is how we're penciled in now to do another podcast with Cape Ann Animal Aid. I can say now that every animal that we've showcased has been adopted, I believe, except the last one, Anita Collar, that we had on last week. She is still available, I believe. But we'll see. She's a fun one too, and like the animal shelter, they absolutely they kill it this time of year, which is great. So, hey Corey, what's up with the stream volume? It's kind of low. Shouldn't be low on my end. Check your YouTube playback thing, just in case. But it wouldn't be coming through me, right? Because my mic's working fine. So just check that out, Jenny. So when we do the show on December 11th, I think at that point I get Matt and Andrew, my big tech guys, here. I think Matt plans on coming up for a weekend or something to stage the studio for interview shows. If they weren't so buried with the Thanksgiving stuff, and if this Dublin trip wasn't happening, we probably would have had a couple in to push for the holiday shopping season. Like, for example, I knew of 2 or 3 authors who definitely would have come in for interviews. There's a great musician, Chelsea Berry. I talked to you about her, who's doing shows at Hammond Castle December 6th and 7th. We'll be away, and asked if if we could do something together next week to help promote the shows. And unfortunately, I'm not around for that. I thought about maybe pre-recording something for her. I might just do my own thing since I think she's actually touring, I think starting tonight for the rest of the week. So we're just going to miss each other. But that would have been a great studio video. She's the first person I think of when I think of a musical guest and a cool interview. She's the top singer-songwriter from around here, and she kills it. So, and we're good friends, and we've done shows together in the past. We've done interviews here before, actually. One time we went over a full album release. We played all of her music, and she talked about every song, which was really nice. So I think that still lives in this channel. So anyway, then we'll set up for those interview shows. There's that, and then hopefully we make some hay and start knocking some of those off and banking those and having some fun and give the studio a little different look and use that furniture a little differently instead of laying on floor mats with puppies, which is what we've been doing so far. So just catching up with some comments here. There's Dottie. Good to see you tonight. Hello, hello. So Nitty, we're in Ireland. I think the 1st through the 6th. It's kind of a quick trip. It's 4 or 5 days. We take the red eye in, so we don't arrive until the 2nd. But how this worked is I have friends. We have friends from Vermont that we're going with, and my buddy Jamie actually works for Coca-Cola, and they have to submit their vacations for the following year before the calendar year ends, like all of them. Which I think sucks to not have that flexibility. So we did that for next year, but he had his Christmas vacation this year left, and he just sort of moved it up to the first week of December instead of around Christmas, because he can do things with his kids, in close proximity to home during the Christmas holiday and New Year's. So, and what he and his girlfriend like to do is they'll go and just explore a city or a little place for 3 or 4 days if it's an easy flight with no connections, just to kind of check it off the list and move on to the next thing. We had been planning on doing a bigger UK kind of trip to drive and breathe and do all that at some point. We've been talking about it for years. And my buddy said, "Hey, look, we're gonna go out there and just try to figure out Dublin for 4 or 5 days. Do you want to do it?" So yep, we'll do that. So that's how that came about, kind of out of nowhere, but we're happy about it. It's tricky timing for me only because it just condenses my schedule before and after, but whatever, we're going to let it rip out there for a few days. And I've only heard great things, and we should see what it's like for Christmas and what the weather's like, and who knows how much we'll actually see. But I just see it as sort of just to get a taste of the culture out there, a precursor to a bigger trip somewhere down the road. And from Boston, it's a 5-hour flight to Dublin, so it's not that bad at all. Actually I think it's a shorter flight than to go to LA. So anyway, so that's will be checked off the list sooner than later. So that's Monday night we leave for that, which will be nice. And that's, like I said, that takes us to the 7th or so, and then my schedule won't be that bad. I can't, unless I'm doing last minute stuff for people. Am I going to try to work on a documentary? At this point, I doubt I would get one done before Christmas and don't need to at this point. But it'd be nice to get in on working on something again. Because I know that Ham and Castle piece will be kind of a layup because those folks over there are going to do so much of the work for me, I believe. I just not exactly sure what the story is yet, so we're going to have that discussion and now our focus. So yeah, so Nydia, I think it's about 5 hours to get there, and obviously no connecting flight unless you want to connect to the ocean. So there's that. Jenny, I don't know if I'll be streaming from Ireland. I kind of used to do things like that on my other trips, or do little snippets and piece them together and edit video after. It's possible. I've also been asked to write an article for one of the papers here, like a postcard from home, and just kind of do a little travelogue of the city. So I may be doing something like that too. We'll see. So yeah, that's the latest there. Italy is just giving you the address if you want the newsletter. So that's another thing. I'm finishing up the newsletter. Well, I can finish it up tomorrow. And so normally, if you ever see my newsletter before, it's just sort of graphic panel after graphic panel, like a timeline of just graphic, graphic, graphic. And if you tap it, it'll take you to, um, a video link or someone's website or whatever it is. And there's probably like at least 40 of them in there this time. And I don't even try to go after some of the big events and topics that are really happening around Thanksgiving, like the schedule for all the Thanksgiving Day football games and where people can find them. Like so many other people do that already. I just kind of take what people send to me, but there's a lot. And if you do get the that, you can just email me at hello@bridgecapean if you don't, and if you wanted to see some of the things you're up to here. It's like it's out of control between the church groups, the fundraisers, the animal shelter, the food pantry. I mean, everything you can think of, the schools. It goes on and on and on, all the stuff that's happening here. And I've done a bunch of videos, plus Black Friday sales and things of that nature too. And of course, the restaurant videos. So we kind of throw it all in there. I plan on changing things up a bit for 2026 because I, I like the newsletter. It takes some time every week. The problem is it's not very different. The content isn't much different from a couple of the big Facebook groups in town, or say the Chamber of Commerce, um, tourism spots and entities like that. Because a lot of folks, they just make a flyer or whatever, or send me crap to make a flyer, and they spit it out to 50 places and just try to do that community corkboard thing. Which I'm not a giant fan of. I think it kind of loses the specialness of what you post then. It's a nice thing to do and all that, but I mean, who's going to scroll through 45 flyers? Apparently my people do. So anyway, we'll see what we do with that newsletter after a while. Jenny, when in Dublin, please check out the fantabulous music scene at Temple Bar. You won't regret it. I've seen all the Christmas decorations, all that at the Temple Bar. And I honestly, Jenny, I literally think we're right there is where we're staying. Like within walking distance, everything's walking distance, but I think we're really close to that place. So I kind of let my other, like my friends and Meredith, they let them figure out what they want to do. If they need to plan something out, I know the places where I need to be are basically a stool in a pub, the Guinness factory, and that may be it. And I'll just make friends along the way, and we'll see what we see. And I don't sweat it. There's going to be a castle. There's going to be a person. There's going to be a beer. There's going to be a castle. There's going to be a river, and then I'm fine. So we'll see how that shakes out. Yeah, but thank you though. Annalie has an ancestor on dad's side buried in Dublin. Wow, I could do a little scavenger hunt if you want me to, Annalie. Have some fun with it. So, but anyway, wow, that was a quick half hour. Yeah, so that's kind of the deal on my end. So yeah, it's insane. I mean, I don't know, want to undate you with Cape Ann stuff, but the Facebook page is really where all the stuff gets dumped for now. It's just easier there. Although, one tricky thing now with Facebook is when you do a live video now, they delete it after 30 days. So I had years worth of videos on my Facebook page. In fact, I did one the other morning with this, it's called Coastal Windows and Exteriors. They do roofing and siding and doors and things like that. And they donated half a ton of turkeys to the food pantry. So we go every year and record it live when they physically bring in the turkeys on pallets. And then they also bring like pies and cookies and all that for the staff and volunteers, and we make a big to-do out of it. So we did something long form then, and then I have to do another post for them that plays after the Thanksgiving holiday craze comes. So I've got a bunch of other pieces that I've done, but we save them until after the Thanksgiving weekend happens, or else they'll just get overlooked. And then there'll be a big wave come Sunday, Monday of my stuff again. And then hopefully that kind of carries me for a week until I can get back into last minute help for folks. So that's the deal there. So it was good seeing all of you again tonight. If you have any questions, fire them my way. I think that about covers it for now. Again, it was fun to see everyone on a Tuesday night. We usually do the Wednesday thing, but I'm assuming I'm out tomorrow and won't be able to do this. And then I imagine we would be back on track when I do come back, if I can check in from Dublin, I will. If I were to do something like that, it's usually something I would do on Instagram, actually. I don't know how many of you are Instagrammers. I'm pretty sure mostly of you are anti-meta. Um, but that's a pretty easy place. I would definitely be posting things on Instagram, which actually would coincide. It would also post on my Facebook page too. Now the way I have it set up, so we shall see if I can actually do a little video or something over there, or piece something together for folks. Do a little travel log or something. So, but yeah, I want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for being with me throughout another year of we'll call it quote unquote inactivity. Although we actually did get to move the needle this year and do some shows with adoptable pets, which was really good. And we actually do have a functioning studio right now, so more progress is happening. Oh, in fact, what I'm actually going to be doing, hopefully if I have a little bit of time before we take off for Dublin, is work on restreaming, which is basically simulcasting on YouTube and Facebook like this more regularly, and doing it on my own with this setup here. I can just use my desktop now and not have to be in the studio. That should be a little lighter lift for me just to get going and start to play with the two audiences as once as we build up to do sort of the bigger things downstairs in the studio. Because I just don't want to keep having to lean on these guys to do roll up your sleeves kind of tech work to do some of the bigger productions. When I could be doing this, to start talking about this new pivot point for the bridge to the local audience here too, and slowly kind of like reel them in a little bit and have some more fun on this channel. So anyway, there's that. So yeah, thanks to all of you for your time and patience. I mean it. Thinking of Sharp Lisa through the holiday season as well, like I said too. And oh, and there's Tammy. It's great to see you. Yeah, I love seeing all your names there every week, and I'm looking forward to moving forward with everything here on this channel and having a lot more fun again. So in the meantime, I should be probably bumping into people like Georgianne and Karen, the True North Girls. I'm still in touch with Georgianne a lot. I haven't seen much of Jilly Bean. I imagine I will through this holiday weekend because, like I said, it's a big reunion tonight, tomorrow, and like everybody's sort of out and about. So I'll hear from her sooner than later. And some other familiar names and faces. I'm with Pauline live on Facebook Friday evening, I believe, around 6 o'clock, 6:15 or so. If you guys want to watch that. There is the Horribles Parade, which we do, of course, July 3rd every year. They have a big annual fundraiser. It's called the Parade of Trees, where all these businesses and groups and nonprofits, they donate their own decorated Christmas tree of any size, and it's filled and it's themed out like that business. And it can have presents and gift cards and all that, but they're all really cool. And our artists do them. Like there are some really nice ones there. And we sort of walk through live as people are decorating them or dropping them off. And we walk through and give people a preview. And they have big raffles and pictures with Mrs. Claus and the Grinch and carolers. And they got to have things going on all weekend long. So Pauline and I actually do that every year as well. But like I said, that's on Facebook. If I could do both at once, YouTube and Facebook, of course I'd be doing that all the time if it was easy to do that from my phone, but not quite yet. So that is happening. Of course, I have to figure out that I'm not with Patricia this week because she's off Friday, and Cece and the Azorian, I think I might actually be with her Friday. I forgot all about that till I just mentioned it. Hold on one second. Cece, Friday 12? I don't know. I got to text her. So, yeah, that work never stops, which is great stuff there too. So, all right, new Adoptable coming up in a couple of weeks. New show, hopefully some new stories to share, and maybe I can do a little slideshow here from Dublin and talk people through that when I come back, which would be nice. So, anyway, thanks again, Tammy. It's always good seeing you. It's always good seeing all your names, but I know some people are sort of lurking out there here and there. Annalie, last time I was with my family at Thanksgiving, I learned I'm better off by myself. A lot of families are like that. I totally hear you. And Jenny says, it's great to get out and experience the world, but the best part of the trip is driving over the bridge when you come back home to Cape Ann. Well, that's true, too. That's always cool. We always say, everyone leaves Gloucester, but that bridge is like a magnet that pulls everyone back in. So that's how it worked for me, for sure. So That's it. Okay. Thanks everyone for your time. Have a great Thanksgiving, right? Have fun, be safe, enjoy Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, if you have a chance and if you can, be out and about. And then, of course, all the giving and volunteering, all the stuff that you do that fills up your heart and soul. Go ahead and do that as well. So, anyway, here's Laura Johnson. Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you. Nydia Annalie for the wrenches, as always. I'm sure Christian will see this later. Old guy, always great seeing you as well. Everybody, Dottie, you name it. Okay, enjoy. If there's any chance at all that I think I'm going to be able to pump on live from Dublin, actually have something set up, I'll post it on the community tab, but don't count on it. I have the idea things are going to get kind of crazy, and I'll unravel pretty quickly over there, too. At least that's the plan. But we'll get our act together once we return. So anyway, okay, enjoy the holiday. We'll see you on the other side of it. Until next time, adios for now.